President Obama's final trip to Asia as president has gotten off to a bit of a rocky start. Chinese leaders are being accused of deliberately snubbing the president by not providing a staircase for him to exit Air Force One in the usual way from the front of the plane. Instead, he had to go through the back door because the staircase that they rolled over would only accommodate that one. And then there was this. The newly elected Philippines president, Rodrigo Duterte, calling President Obama basically an SOB. Here are some of the signs of perhaps the United States losing some respect in some corners of the world. John Bolton is the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and a Fox News contributor. Ambassador, welcome. Good to have you here this morning.
Glad to be with you.
So these little things, the first one may be a smaller thing than the second one. They matter, sort of protocol and issues and the way people arrive and who greets them at the airport. They send a strong signal in diplomatic language, do they not?
Well, I think they are related in the sense that people see Obama coming to the end of his term of office, and they see him increasingly as a weak leader. From their various perspectives. I would make a distinction, though, between what happened, what the Chinese did, and what the president of the Philippines did. It is a calculated insult not to have the right set of stairs ready for the President of the United States. What I don't really understand is how the American advance people, the Secret Service, whomever, didn't have an alternative set of stairs, or somebody didn't say this plane isn't touching down until the right set of stairs is there. But look, it was intended not just to humiliate Obama. It was intended to send a signal across Asia, where this kind of thing gets a lot of attention, that this is how they can treat Obama and they can get away with it. The president of the Philippines, I think, is a little bit different.
All right, hold off on that one for 1 second, because I want to play a little piece of sound. This is a White House aide arguing with an aide from China on the tarmac, and it just gives you a little bit of behind-the-scenes flavor for what this was like on the ground. Let's play that. He's yelling at her. She's the White House aide. We don't know who she is or who he is in this case, but they're going at each other, and he's saying, this is our country, this is our airport. Final thought on that.
Yeah, well, there's a Chinese phrase for this. It's stuff it. And that's what they said to the President of the United States.
I didn't know that was a Chinese phrase in origin.
It's an old Chinese phrase.
Every day. All right, let's move on to the Philippines, where things didn't go much better. It's pretty well documented this morning that the president of the Philippines called our president an SOB, essentially.
Yeah, well, I think here this really was a kind of misstep by the president of the Philippines. Intentional, sure, he said it, but he said it in Tagalog, which is the national language of the Philippines, and he's since basically recanted it. Here, I think the president did the right thing. You don't go into a meeting with somebody who's just called you. Actually, I think the phrase may have been even worse than SOB. But it has implications, because we need to have a closer relationship with the Philippines precisely to deal with belligerent Chinese territorial claims in the South China Sea. So they're saying this morning, actually this evening, Asia time, Monday night, that they're going to try and reschedule the meeting. Whether they can do it on this trip, I don't know. But I think this is more as the president himself said, President Duterte is a pretty colorful guy, and he wasn't speaking with diplomatic protocol, that's for sure.
Yeah, interesting. It does appear the White House, as you say, had the correct response to make it clear that this was not a setting or an environment during which you want to necessarily sit down. And as you point out, he's recanted that comment. So we'll see where that goes. Very important relationship, as you point out. Ambassador Bolton, thank you very much. Good
Always
to see you,
glad
sir.
to advise on protocol.
Thank you. Tagalog.
Well done. 18 past the